Oh my gosh, I have another word for you. Isn't it crazy when you go into God's word, you're like just mind blown at his timing, because his timing is always perfect. It's never late, it's never early, it is right on time. Right here, I'm still in Nehemiah, and I just glanced down, and it is so, I'm just telling you, it is so powerful what happens. It says, what are you doing, or what you are doing is not right. You should not walk in the fear of our God in order to avoid being mocked by enemy nations. Are you avoiding what God is calling you because you're afraid you're going to be mocked, you're going to be shamed, you're going to be rejected, you're going to be turned away from? Are you afraid of those things? Or are you going to walk into God's calling? Because it says right here in Nehemiah, what are you doing? You should not walk in fear of our God in order to avoid being mocked. If God is calling you to do this, then why in the world are you turning away from it? Why in the world are you afraid of what other people are thinking? Because you should be afraid of what God is going to do if you don't walk in your calling, if you don't walk in what his purpose is for you, if you don't walk into what he has for you, your family, your job, your purpose. It's so mind-blowing when you actually take time to get into his word, what he speaks back into you. And so I pray that these words are strong for you, that these words are powerful for you, because they're his words, his calling, his goodness that is being called into your life right now. And it is all in his perfect timing that this is being shown today. And so if you're watching this today, it could be the exact moment in time that you need to hear this. Walk into his calling. Do not be afraid of being mocked or rejected or whatever, because you should be more afraid of what God is going to do if you don't walk in his calling, that he has called you for a purpose. He created gifts for you. Nobody else has these same gifts that you have. You have to unveil them, unwrap them, keep getting stronger and bolder and figuring out what that looks like for you. Because I promise, the more that you're in his word, you're going to see what that calling is. Because if you're like, well, I don't hear from God and I don't know, maybe it's because you're not prayed up, you're not in his word enough so you can hear from him. Promise, the more that you're in his word, the more you're going to hear from him, and the more you're going to know what you are called to do, and why when you feel like you're afraid of what the enemy is going to say or do, it's probably because you've not been in the word enough. So take time, make a habit, and know that you should not worry about being mocked. You should actually worry about what God is calling you into and what you're saying no to.